have a number of things to get to tonight, with the talking points memo being up top. The presidential race and race in America. A brand new poll from Monmouth University runs it down. Have race relations in the U.S. become better or worse since Barack Obama became president? Better, 10%. Worse, 53%. No change, 33%. Do you think that racial and ethnic discrimination in the USA is a problem? Big problem, 68%. Small problem, 12%. Not a problem, 10%. Has Black Lives Matter made racial issues in America better or worse? Better, 10%. Worse, 48%. Has it really changed things? 36%. According to all the polls, Donald Trump is dominating among white male voters, but not doing that well in the black and Hispanic precincts. So here's a breakdown of voting patterns last time around. 2012, 72% of the ballots cast were white American voters. 13% black, 10% Hispanic, just 3% Asian. Voter turnout among white voters was 64%. 67% of black voters turned out, no doubt, because Barack Obama was on the ballot. Among Hispanic voters, 48% showed up, not a good amount. 47% for Asians, not a good amount. Now, there are about 11 million more eligible voters today than there were in 2012. Almost 75% of those new voters are minorities, a sign of how the USA is changing demographically. For Donald Trump to win, he has to turn out the white vote in great numbers. If he does that, he can live with 20% or less of the minority vote. And it's obvious at this convention, and by the Trump strategy itself, that his campaign believes white voters will put him in the White House. All of this sounds kind of ominous, that you have an election pitting whites against minorities. And Talking Points wishes that were not the case, but it is. This time around, many white voters feel aggrieved, feel that the Obama administration is not looking out for them. That's what Laura Ingraham is talking about. Thus, the rise of Donald Trump. In the end, voter turnout will make the difference. Hillary Clinton will have to stimulate much support in the minority communities because the rise of Trump has already demonstrated that white working men in particular are on his side in overwhelming numbers. And that's a memo. Now for the top story reaction. Here we go, Eric Bolling. Now, we're supposed to have Montel Williams, but he walked out in a huff, right? And the producer tells me he was mad about some gay thing. Do you know what the gay thing was?
I don't think it was anything we said.
No.
I didn't hear anything that we said that had any reference to that at all.
Right. But does anybody know what gay thing upset Montel Williams? No, nobody knows.
No. Hey, anyway, his loss, Bill. His loss.
It isn't his loss because he'll never be on this program again. No. He's not a man of his word. He's unprofessional. And Montel, look, I've known you for a long time, but that is about as low as it gets. All right?
It's a big night. Big night.
Now, the first question was going to you anyway. Yep. Does it disturb you? It's black versus white in this election.
It always has been. And I think you
But does it disturb you?
Well, there's no Republican running for president that will ever carry the black vote. There's no Republican that will ever get more than 15% of the black vote.
This is stark. It's stark.
But look at your numbers. Your numbers are amazing. Look, so if there are about 15% of the population is black, and about 65% of the population is white, and the others are other minorities, Hispanics. If Donald Trump just bumps up from 65% voting participation to 70%, that's not that much.
But he has to get
all of the new voters.
Has to get white women to join the white men.
And Hispanics would help too.
If you have a country, all right, and I've always believed the theme of this country should be we're all in it together. But you have a presidential election that is now dividing along racial lines. White overwhelmingly support Trump, and blacks, Hispanics, and other minorities overwhelmingly support Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but that's not Trump's fault.
No, it's nobody's fault.
Well,
but does it reflect
I would say
well on the country?
Under President Obama, race relations have gotten worse.
As the poll shows.
As your poll shows as well. So if you want to tag that to someone, tag it to Obama. Don't tag it to Trump or whatever he's doing.
Nobody's tagging it to anybody.
Well, I'll do it.
It's not an individual's fault. It's the way this election has come down. If the Republicans had nominated someone else, Ben Carson, for example, still black Americans would have gone for Hillary, but not in this number, because now the Democratic Party is saying, look, this guy's a racist, Trump. So that is dividing even further. I do believe that this is not good for the country, but I agree with you that it's inevitable. There's nothing we can do.
I think of those groups that Monmouth polled, the Hispanics is the one he really should focus on, because that's the one he has access to. He's not going to get the black vote. He's not going to get 10% of the black vote, but he could get 30, 35% of Hispanic votes, and that
on economic issues.
Sure. Yes.
Well,
and religious issues.
And the Asian vote isn't very much, but remember, Hispanic voters turn out less than 50%, and so that's in play too. But in certain states like Arizona, certainly Donald Trump is going to have to court the Hispanic vote. He wants to carry the state.
He should, and Florida. Boy, I tell you, he needs Florida. You nailed it. You said,
yeah, Florida.
He's doing well in Ohio, Pennsylvania. You're right. If he doesn't win Florida, all bets are off.
So you're going to see a lot of Donald Trump here in Ohio. You're going to see a lot of him in Pennsylvania, a lot of him in Florida, and that's where the battleground will be fought. All right, Bowling, thanks. And we didn't miss Montel Williams at all, by the way. We didn't miss him. Did anybody miss him? Show of hands. Anyone here miss Montel? Hey, Montel, you know, you're not a stand-up guy. I got to tell you.